Hello class, my name is Nicole Hagemeyer and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about Proposition 67, which is a business regulation on the single-use plastic bags ban. You should listen to me because I work with the plastic bags daily with my job, and so I decided to educate myself more on this topic, and I'm excited to share what I have learned. You should also listen to me because I can help improve the lives of many I can help improve the lives of many in reference to the beautiful Mother Nature. There are 3 important facts with Proposition 67. First, I will be discussing the environmental factors of Proposition 67. Secondly, I will be discussing the economic regulations of Proposition 67. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about the outcomes of voting yes or no on Proposition 67. So let's get started with the environmental impacts. Andreas Each, a chemist with his PhD, studied the various effects that the plastic has on the environment. Him and several of his other colleagues found out that most plastics were not biodegradable, and the ones that were would take hundreds of years to biodegrade. They defined the degradation process as a naturally occurring process through bacteria, fungi, and algae. Plastic can be introduced into the marine environment through rivers, airplane transportation, boat transportation, and weather conditions. This can affect the animals that live in the sea as well as the ones that live on the land. It can affect them by having their bodies being entangled inside the plastic, as well as them mistaking the plastics as pieces of food. This not only affects animals, but the humans as well, because this is due to our food chain. It is also noted that recycling in California is not worth it anymore because only 5% of it is recycled. So to talk about the economic factors of Proposition 67, Jessica Diaz, who has her JD from Berkeley, stated that the plastic bag ban can have a huge impact on the business. In 2008, Manhattan Beach had actually adopted the plastic bag ban, and some people did not like the idea. A group had formed shortly after that, stating that plastic was not only better for the environment, but better for the businesses as well. They stated that plastics are less heavier and less costly than the alternatives. The alternatives include reusable bags, paper bags, and bags made out of corn. Since plastic bags only cost 1 penny and paper bags cost 4, the rate at which these extremities would add up would be very quickly. These businesses would have to pay a lot more money for people to use bags from their stores. Another economic factor is that businesses are already required to have in-store recycling programs. So people say that there is no use to switching to something that is more costly, more heavier, and more damaging to our environment. Moving on to the outcomes of voting yes or no on Proposition 67. By voting yes on Proposition 67, you are in agreement with the ban of the single-use plastic bags. That means California would be the first state to ban these plastic bags. It is also stated that these stores will have to charge a 10-cent fee for reusable and plastic bags per bag. They would have to charge 10 cents per bag. It is also stated that by voting no on Proposition 67, that means that you are in favor of keeping the single-use plastic bags. By voting no, And it is also stated that 1 in 10 reusable bags are not washed, and that makes people at a higher risk for getting E. coli. So let's go over what we had just talked about. I talked about the environmental impacts of Proposition 67. Secondly, I talked about the economic impacts of Proposition 67. And lastly, I discussed the outcomes of voting yes or no on this proposition. Did you know that there are 500 billion plastic bags that are used yearly, and that is 10 times the amount of stars in the Milky Way?